fourth topic, which is monitor a Microsoft Fabric data warehouse. Okay. So when your organization uses Microsoft Fabric, so the license used to purchase the service determines the capacity available. Okay, and a capacity basically is a pool of resources that you can use to implement Fabric capabilities. So the cost of using Fabric is based on the capacity units, and each action we perform in a Fabric resource can consume capacity unit for which your organization is built. So it is therefore important to be able to monitor capacity usage to plan and manage costs. In data warehouse workload, capacity units are consumed by data read and write activities. So queries in your data warehouse and the underlying file operations to one lake storage are the significant factors in the cost of your Fabric analytics solution. All right. Now let's move on. Monitor current activity. So SQL Server users will feel comfortable with the dynamic management views for SQL Server available in Fabric warehouses too. And this code example, it demonstrates how to find long running queries and how admin can terminate certain queries as needed. So we can use dynamic management views, DMVs, to monitor connection sessions and to request status to see live SQL query lifecycle insights. And with the DMVs, you can get details like number of active queries and identify which queries are running for an extended period and require termination. So when we talk about sys.dm underscore exec underscore connections, so basically this T-SQL command, it returns the information about each connection established between the warehouse and the engine. Then the next, the session one, it returned the information about each session authenticated between the item and the engine. And the third one, the request one, it returned the information about each active request in a session. Okay. So now let's move ahead. Query insight views. So Microsoft Fabric data warehouse, it include query insight feature that provides historical aggregated information about the queries that have been run and enabling us to identify frequently used or long running queries and helping you to analyze and tune query performance. So depending on the concurrent workloads, query may take up to 15 minutes to be reflected in the query insight views. And to enable the views to provide the aggregated metrics, query with predicates are parameterized and considered the same query if the parameterized statements are an exact match. So for example, the following query here, it sorry so for example, the following query here, it would be considered to be the same command. Okay. So here we are querying the data for previous hour. We are querying the long running queries and the queries that have multiple runs, and we are finding the frequently run queries. All right. So here for this topic, we have a demonstration. So let's switch to our demonstration screen. So this is again our Microsoft Fabric portal, and in that we will monitor our data warehouse in Microsoft Fabric. So let's first create a workspace. Okay. Okay, we already have two workspaces here. So let's start. Okay, we have demo warehouse inside. All right, so we'll create a workspace. Let's create a new one. Okay, so the new workspace has been created and currently it is empty. Now we will create a sample data warehouse. Okay, so now we have created a workspace. We can create a data warehouse. So for that, we can see at the bottom left, we can ensure that the data warehouse experience is selected. Okay. Now we'll go on the home page of our Synapse data warehouse, and we can see the sample warehouse tile here. So we can create a new data warehouse and we will give it a name as sample. So within some time, a new warehouse will be created and it will populate the sample data. We can say that it is creating tables, it is copying data, and now it is loading. So now we can see that our warehouse has been created and populated with sample data for taxi ride analysis scenario. Okay, we can view that there are different tables there. Okay, so now we will explore the dynamic management views. Okay, so this Microsoft Fabric data warehouse, it include dynamic management views, which we can use to identify the current activity in the data warehouse instance. Okay, so let's just minimize the table. Okay, so now on our sample data warehouse page, in the new SQL query drop down, we'll select the new SQL query. Okay, and so now here we can just copy and paste our T-SQL code to query this DMV. Okay, now we'll use the run button to run the SQL script, and now we'll view the result. So this result is bringing the details of all the connection to the data warehouse. Okay, now we'll modify the SQL code and we'll query another DMV. Okay, or we can do one thing. We'll just I'll copy here itself. Okay. So now we'll be looking for the uh, next DMV, and now I will run this. All right. So after running the modified query, we can view the result, and this is showing the details of all the authenticated sessions. Now again, we will add one more query here. Okay, and this will show us the detail of the request being executed in the data warehouse. So let me just run it. Okay, so now we can see that what all requests being executed in the data warehouse. Okay, now we can modify the SQL code, and we can join the DMVs, and we return the information about currently running request in the same database. So let's copy the code. And now I will run the modified query, and we will view the result. So here it is showing the result. This result is showing the details of all the running queries in the database, including this one. Okay. Now we will add a new SQL query. So we'll add a new second query tab, and here I will just add a code. Okay. So now I will leave this query running. Okay. So let me just run this query. And now I will come back to the tab where we have written our DMVs. Okay. And now I will rerun this query. So here, now we can see two rows. Okay. So here, one row is showing the result, or is it is including the second query that is running in the other tab, and we can note its elapsed time. See the elapsed time. Okay. Now we'll wait for a few seconds, and we'll run the DMV again. Okay, so right now here the elapsed time is 15672. Now I'll just wait for some time, and I will rerun this command again, this query again. So here basically we have joined all the DMVs, and now let me see the result. So we can notice that the elapsed time has been increased drastically. Okay, now we'll come back to our second query tab where query is still running, and we will select the cancel to cancel it. Okay, now back on the tab with the code. Okay, now I will again rerun this query. So now we can see that this query is not running anymore. All right, our second query basically. Okay, so now we'll close all the query tabs. We'll come on the Explorer. All right. So here now we will explore the query insights as well. So as we have discussed in our slide that Microsoft Fabric data warehouse, it also provide query insights, which is a special set of views, and it basically provide the details about the queries that being run in your data warehouse. So again, in our sample data warehouse, we will select the new query, SQL query drop down list, and we'll just select new SQL query. And in the blank query pane, we'll enter the T-SQL command, which include execution request history view. Okay. Now I will use the run button to run the script and I will view the result. So this is basically showing all the previously executed queries. Okay. Now I will modify the code. Basically now I will modify the code and I will try to find the frequently running queries now. So this result basically telling us the frequently running queries. Okay. All right. You can view it. All right. Now we'll again modify the query. And now I will try to find the long running query. So this result basically shows the details of all the queries and their time duration. Okay, you can view the result. All right. So this was about the concept of monitoring the data warehouse in Microsoft Fabric. This was about the demonstration of that topic. Now let's switch back to our slide.